Hi, everybody. It's Rhonda Arena. Uh, I've had a vision, well, a few visions about, this is a pretty hard subject, but I feel like I should share it. This is my information. I'm not accusing anybody. It's alleged. It's just my information. So don't get at me in the comments. Usually, you guys are pretty good about that. It's what I saw, and you may not agree with it, but we'll see what happens because this is what I was shown. These visions were about the two little children who are missing in Nova Scotia, Lily and Jack Sullivan, I believe their name is. They went missing from their trailer, where they lived with their stepfather and mother and their little baby sister, I believe. And it was one morning that they suddenly disappeared from the trailer, and they had a big piece of land out in the kind of in the Nova Scotia area. Um, I think it was they live in Lansdowne. It's called Lansdowne, and it's kind of pretty rural. And they just disappeared. Their boots were missing. Their parents were in the bedroom with the baby, feeding the baby, and they just kind of disappeared. And they had been out of school for a couple days, so they've been missing actually, where nobody's seen them for. I don't know too much about the case because I don't really follow the case. And what happened was I was just the other day, like 3 days ago or 2 days ago, I was looking at the article on YouTube, and I was reading it, and I was watching the searchers on my phone, my iPhone, and I saw them in their orange jump, things, their vests and everything. And I was watching them go tromp through the woods with the dogs and everything. And I looked behind them, and I could kind of see another picture was forming. And it was a picture of trees in a dense forest. And they were all the same kind of trees, and it was very, very dark because the trees were so packed together. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh my God, there's so much forest around there because it's very rural, and there's a lot of lakes and streams and a lot of water around there. And I was looking at these trees, and they were so dense and kind of ominous looking, like that we couldn't see through them from the sky or barely from the ground. And they were all the same type of tree. They weren't like one huge tree and one little tree. So anyway, all of a sudden I saw a picture in my mind, which I sometimes see multiple pictures at the same time in like clouds. And it's like an open cloud, and there's no cloud part, but it's just like an open window. And I saw the stepfather and the mother were having a discussion. There was like a table between them. And he said right in front of the trees when the picture opened, he said, clear as a bell, I killed the children and I buried them in the forest, in the woods, he said, in the woods. And I saw the look, and I was like, I jumped back in my mind because it was a vision. And I was just during the day, I was just looking at the news, which happens a lot. I can see during the day, I can see it at night, I can see it when I'm sleeping, when I'm not sleeping, when I'm vacuuming, whenever they come. And I jumped back, and the mother, I saw her face, and she looked horrified, but I knew that she was a battered woman, and he was abusive to her and the children. And he said, I just lost it. And I could see a little another little picture of him, like, in the front room. I don't know what their house looks like, in, like, this front room area where the toys were and everything, and I could see him, like, going all over the place, like, in a rage at the children. I could see the two of them, like, little, on towards the floor. I could see their heads, and he was, like, in a rage, and he said, "I just lost it, and I killed the children." And she was abused, so she was used to being in a different state of mind than a normal mother would be, who would, like, go after him and say, "What the hell did you do, to my kids?" And I knew she didn't have anything to do with burying the children, killing the children, nothing. But she was subservient to him, and she was going to stand up for him. So anyway, I got the feeling that he drove in a straight line. That's where he put them, in the woods. He put them in the woods. And the word west came up, WEST, and there was another word after it. It wasn't like, it was west, and it was a W next, or a V, or something like that. It was connected. It wasn't like there was a west. I checked up the names of the places around that area, and there was a West Grove, there was a West Place, there was but it was connected. The words were connected, and the West and the next letter were somehow, they sounded alike. So it would have been a West W or V, or West something. I didn't get a feeling it was a direction. It was a direct, more or less a direct line. So I looked it up, and I found a West View, a town. And I think it was Westview. And I looked it up, and it was like 15 minutes away. It wasn't, and there was actually, it went to another town, Pichu. It was on a small island because, like I said, there's lots of water. But it veered off to a small road, and there was Westview, or whatever the name was called, West something. It veered off to the right a little bit, and it was like a straight line. And I said, "That's it. That's where the children are. They're in the woods." And I looked up, they have a lot of nature preserves around there, a lot of woods, a lot of hiking places, camping places. I believe the children are there. And he did lose it. He doesn't look quite right, and I think he just, and she is not a very strong person. She's used to being abused, and she took off. She took off the next day, and she didn't really have much to say. And I'm sorry that I have to say this. I mean, this is what I saw. And I think this was all I saw, and he admitted to it to her, and she didn't turn him in, because a lot of abused women are afraid to turn the person in, because they're afraid the person will come after them, the abusive and husband or boyfriend or whatever will come after them, and she just didn't want to get involved, and she was too traumatized. And I believe that's where they are. And I'm going to turn my tip in, and that's it. That's what I saw, and I'm sorry, you know. So okay, well, thanks for letting me talk, and I hope I'm wrong. You know, hope you're gonna find the kid and safe. Yeah. So I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.